A colossal oil reserve, opulent standards of living, and the honor of hosting a FIFA World Cup. What unites these disparate facets? The answer is simple and straightforward: Qatar. Among the formidable players in the Middle East, Qatar has diligently etched its own unique identity. Yet, lurking behind this facade of prosperity and prestige lies an unsettling reality. Did you know that amidst the relentless Israel Hamas conflict, it is Qatar that stands to reap substantial benefits, even if it necessitates compromising the very essence of humanity? Qatar's wealth and influence are undeniable, but they exist along a darker dimension that is less often acknowledged. Qatar's role in the Middle East's complex geopolitical dynamics, particularly in relation to the Israel-Hamas conflict, raises pressing questions about the moral and ethical choices it makes on the global stage. So join us as we explore Qatar's complex position in the region, exploring the motivations, consequences, and implications of its actions, which threaten not just the Middle East, but also the entire humanity. Qatar, a nation that stands tall on the global stage, has a thriving economy that places it amongst the world's wealthiest and most progressive countries. The bedrock of Qatar's economic prowess is petroleum and natural gas. These resources contribute significantly to its financial strength, accounting for more than 70% of the government revenue, over 60% of the gross domestic product, and approximately 85% of export earnings. With the third largest proven natural gas reserve globally and as the world's second largest natural gas exporter, Qatar wields enormous influence in the energy sector. However, Qatar's ambitions extend beyond petrodollars. It is positioning itself as a burgeoning tourist destination, hosting international events like the 2006 Asian Games and, more prominently, the 2022 FIFA World Cup. These endeavors underscore the nation's aspirations to diversify its economic portfolio and increase its global appeal. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour of this Qatar lies a disturbing truth: Qatar's involvement in sponsoring terrorism. If Pakistan had a strong economic backbone and enough brains to cover the tracks when it comes to sponsoring terrorism, that would be actually Qatar. Truth be told, Qatar is the living embodiment of the quote from the movie Oppenheimer: "Amateurs seek the sun, power stays in the shadows." Qatar's connections to Hamas, the terrorist organization known for its acts of violence against Israel, are indeed contentious. Qatar's support has invoked life into Hamas, granting them audacious moves such as offering the exchange of Palestinian prisoners for the Israeli hostages held in Gaza and holding the Israelites responsible for the attacks on them. This boldness is perplexing, and it raises questions about the pro-Hamas sentiment evident in certain quarters of the geopolitical prism. How do you think the Palestinians, who are practically as clean and innocent as the Pakistanis, have the gall to carry out victory marches of Hamas dastardly attacks on Israel, despite the brutality of the same hidden from none? How does the pro-Hamas cartel have such audacity to justify their crimes against innocent Israelis? This wouldn't be simple without some powerful entity backing them, and that is precisely Qatar. The presence of influential propaganda outlets like Al Jazeera within its borders hints at Qatar's priorities, which seem to include shaping narratives to its advantage. The distinguishing factor in Qatar's involvement in supporting terrorism is its exceptional ability to remain discreet. Unlike nations like Lebanon, Pakistan, or even the USA, where such sympathies are occasionally more apparent. The cloak of secrecy surrounding Qatar's actions in the geopolitical arena is indeed telling. It's a place where the wheels of influence turn quietly, yet their impact reverberates globally. One stark example of this undue influence is the mysterious silence surrounding Qatar's controversial involvements. Notably, Israel isn't the sole victim of Qatar's questionable pursuit of profit. Cast your memory back to the Nupur Sharma case, which garnered global support from the Middle East. Surprisingly, it had its roots firmly planted in Qatar. This is intriguing given the robust economic ties that Qatar maintains with India. It appears that Qatar has a peculiar interest in tarnishing India's reputation, even though they share a relatively strong economic relationship. A 2021 report from Disinfo Labs exposed the anti-India agenda of the Muslim Brotherhood movement in Egypt. This organization concocted hashtags on the then Twitter and propagated posts aimed at undermining India's economic and strategic interests. On September 26, 2021, a hashtag boycott Indian products began trending on Twitter. Thousands of tweets employed this hashtag initially to share a video of a man attacking Assam police during an anti-encroachment operation. Some tweets falsely claimed that India was discriminating against its Muslim citizens, urging the Muslim world to boycott Indian products in solidarity with the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, as the Saudi Arabia and UAE strengthen their ties with India thanks to India's economic prowess, other nations like Pakistan and Turkey, among others, were seen allying with each other to reduce their historical dependence on the Arab world, with Qatar backing them. Meanwhile, the emergence of Taliban in Afghanistan is propelling Pakistan's radical agenda. The Qatar-Turkey-Pakistan alliance poses a significant threat that must be reined in before it escalates into a full-blown crisis. This sinister nexus even extended to the FIFA World Cup. The entire tournament, from the selection bid to the closing moments of the final, was marred by controversies. What was meant to be a global celebration of sport has been twisted by Qatar into a vehicle for the propagation of Islamic ideology. In an alarming twist, public behavior was heavily regulated during this World Cup. Immoral actions, gestures, and public debauchery could lead to imprisonment. Affairs or extramarital relations were also grounds for incarceration. Moreover, a strict dress code mandated covering shoulders, chest, stomachs, and knees. If that was not enough, Qatar also invited notorious preacher and wanted criminal Zakir Naik to the opening ceremony. Unofficially, the FIFA World Cup 2022 became the first Halal World Cup, where sportsmanship and the celebration of the game itself had taken a backseat to the enforcement of backdated moral and dress codes. Although the evidence against Qatar may be elusive for a while, it does not absolve the nation from scrutiny and potential culpability. Qatar, it seems, is a master at maintaining a shroud of ambiguity while playing a significant role in the complex web of international politics and conflict.